Jeffrey is a black pillar and he hates Chad. He's such an asshole. Why does he get all the girls? He's an asshole. He's such a jock and he makes fun of me. Look at his clothes. Look at his fashion. That's gay. I'm not gonna wear that stuff. I like my comfy clothes. Don't be like Jeffrey. Adonis dresses professionally. A sharp, clean-pressed, tailored suit makes Adonis look like the man. Adonis looks like a winner. He feels like a winner. Chicken dinner. Adonis's dress sense gets him more respect and admiration amongst his fellow men and also the attraction of women. Jeffrey doesn't eat his mother's cooking. He'd rather snack on gamer food like pizza and chips with chocolate milk and Doritos. Jeffrey makes no effort, no intention whatsoever to improve his diet. And he wonders why he's so tired all the time, why he struggles to focus, why his dick stops working. Younger Hamza tried to track his food on MyFitnessPal, but as soon as he would go to eat his mom's cooking, he didn't know how to weigh it out. And so he ended up getting annoyed and not tracking his food for the rest of the day. Adonis remains grateful for the bountiful feast that his mother cooks. He takes great interest in his nutrition. Why wouldn't he? He knows that he has to eat right to fuel himself up for his workouts and to lead his tribe. Jeffrey's like the guy who doesn't even try to improve himself. But in fact, he hates on you for trying to start working out and being productive. Why? Because you invalidate Jeffrey's excuses and that pisses him off. Why are you going offline? Just play one more game, you pussy. Is it your bedtime? Jeffrey is the bottom of the bucket crab who pulls you down as you try to climb up. The Jeffreys of the world have spread like a plague, pulling down their peers and normalizing wasting their lives on instant gratification. Adonis has lived like a monk for an extended period of time. Through this solitude, Adonis came to realize what's important for a man. Serenity, brotherhood, growth, success, presence and gratitude. All of the things that come from going out into the world and being productive. But Adonis looks around at the men of today. Weak, angry, fragile, distracted and egotistical men. And then Adonis sees you. He sees you trying to become more disciplined, exercising, meditating. Adonis looks impressed. Jeffrey makes fun of you for wanting to go to the gym. That's stupid. Why don't you just come online and play League of Legends and Valorant with us? The gym's gay. That's weird. It's time to answer the most important question of your life. Do you want to be more like Jeffrey? Yes or no? You made a wise choice. Welcome to the House of Gains. Oh, Adonis goes to the gym. Greek body. The gym goes to Adonis. Adonis is like the huge guy at the gym who helps the beginners. He lifts incredible weight, but he never makes those weird noises that some guys do. He's always there when you need a spot and a pat on the back for the accomplishments that you hit in the gym. Because Adonis remembers what it was like when he started the gym. Jeffrey and his friends aren't on self-improvement. Why would they be? Reading is for nerds. Why would we go to the gym? That's gay. Instead of being productive, Jeffrey et al. Take ketamine in McDonald's. They stay up late arguing with each other on Discord, playing video games and eating junk food. We hate our lives. Yeah! Adonis and his tribe all read Atomic Habits. Like brothers in arms, his tribesmen work out together. They fish, they hunt, they meditate, they build, they grow. All of it in a tribe. Adonis knows the power in brotherhood. Whenever he takes a step forward,
I'll pop you in the jaw, little guy.
he reports back and helps his tribesmen take the same step. Jeffrey gets angry and starts fights, especially when he goes out drinking. It makes him feel so powerful to get loud and aggressive. Adonis doesn't fight, unless he has to. He understands street fights are unpredictable, and he knows that fighting is high risk with minimal reward. And yet, Adonis trains. He prepares himself for the day that he doesn't have a choice other than to protect himself and his tribe. Jeffrey sees you weighing and tracking your food on MyFitnessPal. What the f***? What are you doing, you loser? Just eat it. Look, everyone, he's trying to be healthy. What a loser. I bet he wants to build more muscles because he's gay. Two of your friends who aren't really your friends laugh at you with Jeffrey. But Jeffrey is unhealthy. He hasn't put any thought into his shitty diet. He eats like a child, going out to get snacks for his gaming session. He hates his body, but he'll do nothing about it. Adonis's diet consists of only natural foods like meat, vegetables, gym girls, and healthy fats like nuts and oils. He's built a great physique, our Adonis. You see, when you master your diet, just like Adonis has done, you feel good enough. You feel even better than good enough. That helps you be more confident so that you can make more friends and meet more girls. It helps you feel healthier and stronger, which makes other people respect you. All of this makes Adonis so happy, and Adonis thinks that you can get here too. Jeffrey hates women. He hates them because he doesn't understand them. He hates them because he can't get them. Jeffrey goes online and leaves hate comments about women. Jeffrey then proceeds to spend 2 hours on Instagram cold DMing girls like he's a salesman, but none of them reply. Why would they? They take one look at Jeffrey's Instagram profile and they get sickened. The lack of attraction from women makes Jeffrey hate them even more, and it's a negative spiral. Adonis understands women like Jeffrey understands video games. He can't feel hate for his other half. Adonis is a superior man. He loves his woman like black pillars love their excuses. Jeffrey focuses on trying to be more confident. He spreads out his body with invisible lat syndrome and he tries to make his voice deeper. He obsesses over eye contact and all of this makes him less confident. Adonis doesn't try to be more confident. He just focuses on accomplishing his goals and he gains confidence as a byproduct of that pursuit. And so he works hard to achieve his goals in his business, relationships, and fitness. Jeffrey sees you reading Can't Hurt Me by David Goggins.
Well, why are you reading that? It's all fake. He's overtraining.
But Jeffrey's a It's discipline that he needs. Jeffrey is the perfect example of the modern man. He's weak, he's submissive, he's feminine. He chases comfort just like Asian men chase white women. Adonis. How do you say that word, bro?
Epitome.
Adonis is the epitome of discipline. He conquers challenges. He does the hard work, especially when he doesn't feel like it. Hell, Adonis does the hard work, especially when you don't feel like it. He got your back, don't worry. But no one is born with discipline. Adonis had to level himself up. He had to set himself uncomfortable, painful challenges. And because of that, he leveled up his discipline skill. Jeffrey says that meditation doesn't work, but he hasn't even tried. He sees you gratitude journaling and he makes fun of you.
You're gay. You're gay. You're writing about your feelings. That's gay.
But gratitude is exactly what Jeffrey needs. He's an ungrateful, resentful piece of shit. The problem is that Jeffrey and a lot of young men think that they're special. Their ego blinds them from the progress that they could make because they think they're above the fundamentals. Don't be like Jeffrey. Adonis rises to the sun. He looks into the light and goes out into nature. He walks, he runs, he sprints. He stretches, he lifts. He meditates and he eats clean. Adonis focuses on the big picture, on the things that truly matter. You'll never see Adonis searching up the best supplement guide on YouTube. By focusing on what truly matters, Adonis has made great progress. Jeffrey can't read. He obviously learns how to read in school, but he just can't concentrate on the words on the page because his attention span is fried. He reads a sentence and immediately forgets that sentence. And so Jeffrey never reads books. Adonis's favorite activity after procreation is learning the wisdom of other men. He spends a great deal of time deep into quality books and then practically uses the wisdom he's learned to master all areas of life. Jeffrey leaves hateful comments online. He doesn't realize that he's speaking to a real person.
This guy's stupid. His advice is stupid. That doesn't work. Meditation doesn't even do anything.
He goes from video to video leaving troll comments. He doesn't realize that not only is he spreading negativity, he actually makes himself feel worse. Adonis spreads joy just like I spread chlamydia in university. He lifts up his brothers, for he knows that the tribe will become stronger. Adonis shares his gift of love to his neighbors, but he still knows the value in critical feedback. Jeffrey is like the guy version of the women who hate all men.
F these hoes and kick them out to the street. Dating is over if you're under 6'2". Girls don't like me because I don't have the perfect face or I don't put in 40 hours a week in the gym. And they don't care about personality. But Jeffrey's personality is shite. He's resentful, bitter, and hateful. He isn't a fun person to be around. He makes mean jokes about your insecurities and then he gaslights you and says, I'm only joking, relax bro, why are you getting upset? No wonder women don't like Jeffrey. Adonis is the ultimate man, the outlier male. He isn't a cringy, loud alpha male. He's the best, most attractive, most confident, most masculine leader. But he's humble, and that makes him even more attractive. He's like a magnet for beautiful women. Women orbit around Adonis, whilst Jeffrey orbits around the women. But Adonis wasn't always like this. He learns from the best couple around, his parents. But just like most men, Adonis had to go through his fair share of mistakes to learn how to attract women and have beautiful, healthy relationships. Jeffrey has a defeatist mindset. He sees himself as a loser. Oh no, I can't lift weights because I'm not strong enough yet. No, I can't start that business because I'm in university.
Jeffrey ends up never making progress. He stays stuck in a life. Adonis has read the book Psycho-Cybernetics by Maxwell Maltz. Adonis spends time visualizing his success. He sees it in his mind's eye before he sees it in real life. And then he makes it happen. He acts as if he already has that success, so he has the perfect personality to make it into a reality. Adonis understands the power of his mind. Jeffrey says that he's too tired to exercise.
I'm too sore. I went to the gym last month and my muscles hurt and I'm busy and I'm tired and I didn't sleep well. I'll just skip the gym today, but I'll definitely go tomorrow.
Jeffrey doesn't go tomorrow. Adonis.
Adonis is never too tired to visit the House of Iron. With max level discipline and willpower skills, Adonis never skips a workout. Why would he? That's the most fun part of his day. Jeffrey says that he just can't sleep early. I've tried, but it doesn't work. I tried going to sleep early, but I couldn't sleep, and I need to fap first. And sometimes I want to play League of Legends first. But I go to sleep early. It's only 4 a.m. Jeffrey is like most modern men who don't realize how consequential bad sleep is to their lives. He doesn't realize that sleeping less than 6 hours a night makes his testicles smaller. Do you want small balls, bro? That's what happens if you sleep less than 6 hours. Have some respect for yourself, little marble balls. Adonis. Can you flex your chest yet, bro? Hello and welcome to my TED Talk. Adonis knows that he has to be well rested to conquer the day. And so he prioritizes sleep. He rests like it's his full-time job. He gives himself more than 8 hours a night. The tribe needs him to be well rested and rejuvenated. Adonis awakes at the sunrise, ready to start the day. Jeffrey makes fun of you for living at home with your family. Why don't you just move out, bro? Are you broke? Why are you still living with your family? That's gay. I moved out, but I have no money left now. Jeffrey spends his money just like average people do. As soon as he gets a job, he moves out of his family home and starts rinsing his income. What he makes is what he spends. And so now he's stuck in the rat race. Jeffrey doesn't like his life. He doesn't like his job, but he spends most of the money from his job so that he could move out from his family home just so he can live and keep going back to work. Don't be like Jeffrey. Adonis. Adonis's parents put him through the rite of passage. Adonis was thrusted through a series of challenges that would make him into a man. It was only once he had claimed his manhood that he ventured out away from his family in search for his own tribe. Jeffrey's phone notification goes off again. It's her! He's so happy that she's replying. She seems so interested in him. Jeffrey's finally happy, but she keeps making excuses not to meet him. Jeffrey sees her Snapchat story and she's with another guy. It's been weeks, it's been months, and eventually the girl that Jeffrey's been texting gets into a relationship with the guy that she's been f***ing all this time.
Bitches ain't sh**.
Adonis. Adonis texts girls in the proper way. Adonis is the guy in the girl's Snapchat stories, and he's the only one in her mind. Jeffrey's mouth breathing. He's scrolling. You stupid bitch. I hate you. They're all sluts. All of them are all sluts. They're all f***ing Chad. Why won't they fuck me? Jeffrey's part of the black pill. He's an incel. He's in men going their own way. He hates women, and he thinks that the reason that they don't like him is purely due to his genetics. But that's not true. He's just a hateful, weird, smelly guy to be around. Adonis is so aware of the connection, the yin and yang of male and female energy. He's a masculine man, so of course he's attracted to feminine women. He holds only positive, loving thoughts about them. And because of this, Adonis is irresistible to women. Jeffrey is always angry. He wants you to believe that he's tough, but he's actually a bit of an insecure pussy. He uses the outward anger and aggression that he constantly shows at the smallest incidents as a defense mechanism to cover up his weaknesses. Jeffrey makes people feel uncomfortable, but he feels like that makes him more powerful. It doesn't. It just makes him more hated. Because of that, he lives a pretty lonely, lone wolf life. Don't be like Jeffrey. There's a correct way to reclaim your male aggression. Adonis. Adonis isn't an aggressive man, but he can be. When his tribe is threatened, Adonis can kick into action. He has the capability of aggression and violence. He doesn't want to use it, but he knows it's vital to have it. And because of this ability to be angry, to be aggressive, and to protect himself, Adonis can live a genuinely peaceful and safe life. Jeffrey's been reading the Red Pill for a while now. It's time. It's time. Jeffrey makes his own Red Pill YouTube channel. 4 things confident men do that most men don't. 3 things alpha males never tell women. Younger Hamza fell down the Red Pill YouTube rabbit hole, and he got stuck there for a while. Yeah, f*** these hoes. Never put a woman on the pedestal. Okay, now time to spend 2 hours watching videos about women. Adonis. Adonis doesn't waste his time learning how to attract women from YouTube. He was raised to be strong, masculine, and a gentleman. That combination makes Adonis irresistible to women. Jeffrey doesn't even admit that he has a problem. He spends all day on his crusty computer chair, flicking from watching bullshit YouTube videos to posts on Reddit to Twitter to Instagram to Pornhub to OnlyFans. He says that there's nothing to do, but he has assignments. He hasn't went to the gym. If only he stopped spending so much time on YouTube. Adonis. Adonis isn't a consumer. He creates. He produces. He spends his time wisely. Adonis is aware of the modern addictions that we all have. He stays vigilant to not get hooked onto YouTube. And so Adonis spends his time in nature, meditating, touching grass. When was the last time you touched some grass, bro? Jeffrey is part of the average men who have low testosterone. He doesn't even realize what he's doing to his body. Sugar, fapping, late nights. Jeffrey lives exactly the opposite of how a man should. Adonis.
Adonis is the ultimate male. That means that he has the highest testosterone amongst his tribe. That doesn't mean that he's an asshole, the stereotypical alpha male. It means he's the king, the leader, the one that we look up to, the most powerful, the most humble man that we aspire to be like. Adonis has testosterone coursing through his blood. That helps him conquer and explore. Adonis has the advantage of high testosterone because he does not partake in the modern activities, in the addictions of the average man. Jeffrey is an ass. He's that loud drunk motherfucker in the pub. You could probably take him in a fight, but it would be risky. So what do? Adonis. Adonis keeps his tribe safe. With will, strength, and courage, Adonis fends off the opposition. The tribe leader looks after his loved ones. And because of this, Adonis' tribe flourishes. Jeffrey teases you for going to sleep early.
Look everyone, he has a bedtime, what a loser. Who goes to sleep at this time? But you get a great night of sleep, whilst Jeffrey's still online gossiping on Discord and playing Valorant. 4 AM rolls around and Jeffrey finally gets into bed, but he can't sleep without fapping first. Jeffrey refuses to ever try to improve his sleep. He doesn't realize how important it is not only for health, but more importantly for aesthetics. By the time Jeffrey actually falls asleep, you wake up nice and early to start your morning workout. Jeffrey will find some way to insult you for this, but for now, he's dreaming about his favorite thing, Adonis. Adonis understands the importance of sleep more than most. He looks around at the men of today who voluntarily choose weakness over strength. He tries to help them, but they don't want his help. He doesn't understand it. Adonis rests so that his energy can be replenished. Then he can be ready for another day of conquering challenges and helping people. Jeffrey contributes nothing to his tribe. Slow down, you're making me feel bad. Why are you working so hard? That's weird.
He's useless. He does nothing to help himself, his family, or his friends. Jeffrey is a consumer, a materialistic spurg. He does everything wrong. He doesn't act like a man, and yet he wonders why he doesn't get the same rewards that men do. He's pissed off because he struggles with women, because he's not making much money. But he doesn't realize that being weak and useless is the exact reason why he doesn't have the life that he wants. Adonis. Hard times create strong men. Strong men create good times. Good times create weak men, and weak men create hard times. He looks around at the weak and useless men of today. He wants to help them, but they don't want his help. They don't want to improve. They don't want to get stronger. It scares him. For the first time in a while, we see Adonis actually being scared for the future. This is a bigger problem than we realize. Jeffrey is happy exactly how he is.
I'm fine! Video games aren't even that bad for you!
He doesn't realize just how much time he's wasting on the modern addictions. He says that video games aren't that bad for you, that he only plays for 1 hour a day, but that's not true. Every video gamer who says that he only plays for 1 hour a day is a big, fat, stinky liar. Adonis. Adonis lives like an old school man, like a caveman. He drastically limits his technology use. Instead, Adonis prefers to be out in nature, amongst animals, seeing the sunrise and the sunset, spending time with his loved ones. It isn't Adonis's preference to be sat hunkered down with poor posture, looking at a screen all day. He knows that that causes sickness, and so Adonis looks around so confused at the majority of people who spend all their time like that. Jeffrey thinks he's already found his true passion. He's content with his video games, chili heatwave Doritos, and stepsister videos, but he doesn't know that future Jeffrey is going to look back in shame. Adonis discovered his passion through years of exploration, directionless trials and tribulations. Adonis trusted the process, and he came out of it a passionate man. He lives his life according to his own values, and that is a life worth living indeed. Jeffrey goes on to self-improvement YouTube videos and leaves black pill comments. Imagine being called a fucking Jeffrey and a guy imitates you putting on a helmet, bro. This is how you know black pillars are just fucking lost.
This advice is stupid. It wouldn't work for a 5'2" Indian janitor because you're 6 foot Hamza, so we can't take your advice.
If Jeffrey just put half of the time that he spends commenting this bullshit on YouTube videos into going to the gym, he would make enough progress to start attracting women. But he doesn't. He's lazy. He's the bottom of the bucket crab that wants to pull you down. So are you gonna let him? Adonis is a man full of hope, and he transfers that hope to the men around him. That's what brotherhood is for. He believes in himself and he believes in his tribe. He brings them up. He can't understand why there's so many men who would rather pull you down. Adonis looks in disappointment to the average men of today. They've given up, but they won't stop up until more men have given up with them. Jeffrey feels regret. He had another chance to speak to his crush today, but he didn't do it again. He walks home with his head held low and feels depressed. He berates himself with negative self-talk, and he feels like a little bitch. Adonis. Adonis talks to everyone. He never holds back to express himself socially. Why would he? Adonis enjoys social situations, and so talking to everyone around him makes it easy for Adonis to speak to the women in his tribe.
Jeffrey is a winner. Everybody loves Jeffrey. And look, he's f***ing that girl, and he's f***ing that other girl, and he's f***ing that girl, and he's f***ing that girl. Oh, he was just daydreaming. Jeffrey is a loser. A grade A loser. He does nothing but indulge in pleasure. He watches self-improvement videos just like this one, but he doesn't take action. That better not sound like you. If your heart started beating fast then, bro, go f***ing do some push-ups, mate. He's a loser, but he complains that he doesn't get those same rewards as the winners. Do not be like Jeffrey. Adonis. Adonis still sees himself as a bit of a loser. That's interesting. He has so much humility that he focuses on his weaknesses so that he can grow more. He leaves nothing to chance. He focuses entirely on his own development, so focused on his purpose. And that's exactly what makes Adonis a winner. Whilst other men are subscribing to OnlyFans, Adonis is subscribing to his faith. Whilst other men drive to their local fast food joints, Adonis hunts. He lives a good life.
Jeffrey goes to university unprepared. He starts his first day awkwardly while staring at the hot girls and being jealous of the confident guys who seem to have all of the fun. Adonis. Adonis was already the tribe leader and initiator before he began studying. The fun revolved around Adonis, and because of that, he has fond memories of his time in university.
Jeffrey doesn't want you to go offline yet, but you're tired, you're sleepy. It's 1 AM and you're done playing f***ing League of Legends, but Jeffrey just wants to play one more game. You're tired of taking drugs, you're tired of drinking so much, and you know that it's bad for your physique, but Jeffrey keeps inviting you, and he keeps making fun of you when you say that you don't want to do these bad habits anymore. Adonis understands the nature of friendship and brotherhood. Whilst he has compassion and loyalty for the people that he grew up around, Adonis respects himself, and he wouldn't stay around anyone that isn't good for him, because Adonis understands that you become more like the people that you surround yourself with. Every person in his life influences him to be more like them, and so Adonis chooses carefully, and you should too. Jeffrey thinks exercising is weird. The last time that he exercised was in his PE class in year 8. Jeffrey was in the special kids group, the ones who couldn't catch a ball, the ones who couldn't even run to the other side of the pitch, and so now he hates all kinds of exercise. But worst of all, Jeffrey tells you that it's bad for you. You shouldn't do weightlifting because you might injure yourself. And anyway, trying to build muscle is gay. Why are you so full of yourself? You're so arrogant. You've got so much ego. Look, he's taking a transformation picture. That's gay. Jeffrey is a bit of a prick. I'm not gonna lie. He's the motherfucker who like comments on your transformation pictures, or no, you know what? He's the motherfucker, right? You might have friends like this. They won't like your pictures and they won't like your status or anything, but they'll comment under them. I hate those guys, bro. F those guys. If you've experienced this dynamic, you know what the I'm talking about. Like, you've seen the post, just like it, bro. Why are you commenting like bullshit underneath my post, bro? Just shut your mouth, mate. F***ing Jeffrey. That's why you're still skinny fat to this day, you stupid bro. Motherfucker's gonna be watching this video like, is he talking about me? Yeah, bro. If the shoe fits, Adonis. Adonis can be seen lifting in the back of Arnold Schwarzenegger's videos. I want to hear you edit that bitch. I'll just make this hard as f for you. Adonis can be seen lifting in the back of Arnold Schwarzenegger's videos. He's lifting 183.5 pounds. Weightlifting is incredibly important in Adonis's life. That's how he met his brothers. That's how he becomes stronger, physically and mentally. Adonis lifts just like Jeffrey faps every day, multiple times a day. Jeffrey hates these hoes. They'll cheat on you, and they're all trash. They're all low quality girls. Women are horrible. Uh-oh, I think somebody's been watching too many red pill videos. Jeffrey's convinced that all women cheat. He clicks on another and another and another red pill pickup artist video. Don't be obsessed about women, but here's 1,000 videos about women. Jeffrey's a dumbass. How does Adonis view women? He thinks they're wonderful. He loves being around the feminine energy. What kind of women do you think Adonis attracts? Yeah, all of them. But what kind of woman is Adonis interested in? The highest quality. Of course, Adonis understands female nature. Of course, he knows that men and women are not the same. But you wouldn't expect a man like Adonis to view women so incredibly negatively. Why? Because he is a good man. He is a respectful, kind, generous, strong man, which means that he attracts a high quality, beautiful, pure, feminine woman. Jeffrey allows himself to be influenced by the modern media. He watches movies, TV shows, and he even watches the news. Who the fuck watches the news these days? Because of his overconsumption, Jeffrey's being conditioned by the modern narrative. That makes him weak. That makes him contradict his values. Jeffrey is a modern man. He doesn't even know his values. What a pathetic life. Adonis. Do you think a man like Adonis would allow himself to be conditioned by others? Does it look like Adonis is the type of man to sit around on the couch with a fucking computer chair to watch TV shows? Of course not. Adonis goes out into the real world. He experiences trials and tribulations. He makes his life into a movie. That gives him a level of fulfillment that so many young men lack these days. The answer is simple. Be more like Adonis. Adonis wakes up to sunrise and starts his day, whilst Jeffrey stays in bed. Adonis breezes through his morning routine. He jumps into the icy lake. He meditates and he explores in nature. He picks out his favorite leaf. Jeffrey's still in bed. It's time to train. Adonis pumps iron. He looks up to his idols. He spots his brothers and helps them grow. Jeffrey's still asleep. It's almost the afternoon and time to break his fast. Adonis hunts down a boar by himself. Jeffrey's woken up after pressing snooze on his alarm 3 times. He stays in bed, grabs his phone, and proceeds to jack off. Adonis spends hours reading, learning, and contemplating, improving his mind. Jeffrey spends hours scrolling on social media, Reddit, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, Pornhub. Adonis leads his tribe forward, one step at a time. He looks amongst his tribe and he inspires them. Jeffrey's just gotten out of bed. He slogs over to his computer and loads up Discord and YouTube, where he proceeds to spend the next few hours. Adonis begins to unwind. The sun's about to come down. He's had a fantastic day. He sits around the campfire with his loved ones, looking up at the stars, telling stories to his child. Jeffrey spends the rest of the evening on his computer. He plays League of Legends and Minecraft and Valorant, Elden Ring. What the f is that, bro? Through all of this, Jeffrey keeps going back onto dating apps, just hoping for a crumb of pussy. Adonis gets to bed early, setting himself up for another fantastic day ahead. Jeffrey stays up late, overstimulating himself. Jeffrey's been waiting. He's waiting and waiting and waiting. He knows that he's gonna amount to something great, but he's waiting. He's just gonna wait. What's Jeffrey waiting for? The special event. Because Jeffrey's a spurg and he's always watched movies and TV shows, he's waiting for that special event that he's seen countless times. You know the one, that lonely teenage nerd who gets bullied, and then something happens. He gets bit by the spider. He eats the kryptonite, or you know, whatever the happens in movies. One special event happens and Jeffrey turns into Adonis. And so Jeffrey waits, and he waits, and he waits. That better not be what you're doing too. Adonis. Adonis does not wait for the special event to happen. He makes it happen himself. He understands that miracles can happen, but you have to put yourself in the right position. Adonis makes himself lucky. He doesn't wait to be lucky. Whilst modern men sit at home consuming content and watching self-improvement YouTube videos, Adonis goes out into the real world and he takes action. Because of that, Adonis is way more likely to experience one of these events. Jeffrey wants to learn how to make money online, but he wants it fast. He wants it quick. And so he pretends to sell a special product, a special service that costs only $199.7. Why all f***ing products that marketers sell $1,997, man? He doesn't really believe in the product, but that doesn't cross his mind. Jeffrey focuses on the money that he can make rather than the value that he can provide. Adonis. Adonis is a world-class businessman. And you know what's interesting about Adonis and the other businessmen who are so incredibly successful? They focus on creating immense value. They focus on helping people change lives, and then they monetize that help effectively. The best entrepreneurs don't focus on how much money that they can quickly make. They focus on creating a long-term impact, and with that comes great wealth. Jeffrey's weird. He's a male, but he hates men. He's what we call a white knight. That's when a guy who's so desperate for pretends like he's trying to protect a woman just because that's the only way he thinks that she might be able to like him. And so Jeffrey throws random fake statistics at you. But what about the wage gap? Women earn only 77. Shut the f*** up, Jeffrey. We know that's not true. Men like Jeffrey do nothing but harm towards our ability to join the masculine and the feminine energy. Adonis. Adonis is a masculine man. He sees the value of having a woman who compliments him. He's present and so grateful for his loving relationship, and he wants all of us to experience that. He sees the level of stress and insecurity in modern relationships, and it saddens him. This could be one of the best things in our lives. Jeffrey's just constantly texting girls. Before she's even had a chance to look at his message, he sent her another message, and another, and another. Question mark, question mark, question mark. Hey, have you died? He's always ready to message and call and meet girls up for any notice. And that's weirdly the reason why girls don't want to see him. He doesn't give them the space to miss him. Because he's around all the time, it kind of makes his attention seem less valuable. So what do you think happens? The girl that Jeffrey has a crush on ignores his message. She's texting someone else. Adonis. Adonis doesn't play games. That means that he doesn't purposely sit around to not message her back too fast. He's just actually busy. Adonis's woman misses him often because he goes out to fulfill his purpose. He doesn't do that with some kind of malicious, manipulative intent to make his woman feel bad. He just does it because he has priorities. And even though his woman misses him for this, and missing someone is somewhat of a negative emotion, it actually makes his relationship so much more positive because she truly values the time that she gets with him. That is how you should structure your time with women. Jeffrey complains that he's not getting any women. He blames it on his height, his skin color, his finances. He blames it on the women. They're all but why won't they be my It's a shame. Jeffrey overlooks one key component to being attractive: his mental health. Adonis has a beautiful character. He is so utterly present when he speaks to you. You can't help but feel important around him. You've spent some good fun time with Adonis and he looks at you and he tells you that he's grateful for you. Imagine how good that would feel. Imagine how Adonis's woman feels around him. Jeffrey's a loser, but he thinks he's great. I don't need to work out. Why would I read a book? He doesn't see his weaknesses. Jeffrey is full of ego, and that blinds him. That stops him from ever being able to even get close to his potential. So many young men are like Jeffrey. They don't realize that they aren't good enough, and so they don't put in the work. They don't try to bring up their weak points. They're content with sitting around and watching porn and playing video games, watching shit on Netflix, watching sports, drinking beer, eating shit food. Adonis has accomplished a lot, and we're all so proud of him, but he tells you that he's just getting started, and that is so inspiring to hear. Here is a man that we all look up to, and he feels like he still has a long way to go. That keeps him striving, that keeps him hungry, it keeps him determined. Jeffrey likes to put you down. You've been working hard, you've been making progress, but all Jeffrey can do is criticize you. He clearly hasn't read Dale Carnegie's book. You post your body transformation so grateful and proud of the progress that you've made, and Jeffrey comments, "Oh, but you still have small legs." Fucking hate Jeffrey, bro. I'm trying, bro. I'm trying to grow my calves. They take a while. Just fucking leave me alone. Adonis brings his brothers up. He's the leader after all. That means that Adonis dishes out appreciation. How do you think Adonis would respond when one of his brothers accomplishes something great? Adonis would be as happy, if not even happier than his brother. That encouragement that he gives inspires his people to do even more. Jeffrey signs up to a 30-day boot camp in the gym. The workouts are hard and strenuous and 2 hours long. Why did Jeffrey sign up to this? Because he wants to lose 20 pounds as fast as possible. Anyone with any fitness experience knows that Jeffrey's goal is stupid. 20 pounds in a month. Of course he's not going to reach it, but he's so certain that he's right. And you know what? Jeffrey works really hard in the first workout, but then the next day he's too sore and he quits. Jeffreys all around the world are doing this wrong. They want good grades in school, so they study for 10 hours, but then they're left sleep deprived, unhappy and lonely. There's a better way to go about your self-improvement journey. Adonis. For all that Adonis conquers, he still has balance in his life. He's built an admirable, perfect, aesthetic physique. How? Because Adonis knew that it would take a lifetime to build that much muscle. When he was first starting off in the gym, he didn't overdo it. He did short and sweet workouts, leaving himself motivated for the next workout. When it was times to study or to do work, Adonis would do the absolute essential tasks, and then he would focus on recovery. You see, Adonis works like a lion. He works hard with a monastic focus. Then he spends the rest of his time resting and recharging for the next sprints. Not only does Adonis accomplish a lot from this, he gets a lot of enjoyment from it too. Jeffrey spends another hour of his time searching up guides on YouTube about how to make money on video games. Hour by hour, day by day. God damn, Jeffrey. He's racked up thousands of hours on these games. And not only that, he's also racked up invisible hours on YouTube and Twitch watching more about these video games. Imagine if he put just a fraction of that time into real life. And yet Jeffrey says that he plays video games for just 1 hour a day. Do not be like Jeffrey, crackhead. Adonis sees the young men of today consumed by the virtual world. It's so strange. He looks at them and just thinks, why don't these young men just go out into nature? Why don't they go out into the real world? They want a sense of exploration. Well, you can have a better adventure outside. They want a sense of brotherhood and status. Well, why don't you create a group of friends who challenge each other? Jeffrey thinks reading is for nerds. He hasn't read a book since Biff and Chip in primary school. Instead of reading and gaining the wisdom of his elders, Jeffrey spends his time overstimulating himself on the internet. He doesn't realize what he's missing out on. He's so certain that reading is unessential, that he doesn't have time for it, but he has enough time for video games, to watch porn, to scroll on social media, to pretend he's busy doing bullshit tasks. It's a shame. Jeffrey would Adonis considers himself as a lifelong student. He searches far and wide for knowledge because he knows that knowledge, when applied, is power. And so you can routinely see Adonis retiring back to his cave, holding a multitude of books underneath his muscular arms. My god, just look at those arms. Jeffrey wants to make progress as fast as possible. He wants to lose 3 stone in 3 weeks. He's like the 42-year-old Karen who goes to a boot camp and never makes consistent progress. Why? Because he overdoes it. It's like he wants to make up for all the time that he's lost to instant gratification activities. So when he finally gets a bit of motivation to be productive, he overdoes it and he thinks that that's a good thing. But actually it just keeps him spinning the same cycle over and over again. Adonis understands the nature of self-improvement. He knows exactly what it takes to make progress. You have to be in it for the long haul. You'll never see Adonis doing a 30-day squat challenge or setting himself some ridiculous weight loss goals. Why? Because he understands that this isn't a 30 or a 90-day challenge. This is for life. And so he sets himself on a program that he can sustain for life. Even though technically Adonis makes less progress than Jeffrey in the first few days because Jeffrey overdoes it and does 3-hour workouts, Jeffrey quits. Adonis continues for life. That's how he's built so much success in the areas that he cares about. Jeffrey doesn't understand anything about productivity. He wakes up and he checks his phone straight away. You have to be a crackhead to wake up and check your notifications straight away. And I bet you're probably doing that. You're more alike to Jeffrey than you think, you know. Jeffrey's about to do some work, but then his phone pings. What does he do? Does he stay focused on the task that he was just about to start? Or does he check the notification because he might be getting some pussy? This seems insignificant, but because of this, Jeffrey struggles. He struggles in his work and in his studies. He never gets good grades because he's always distracted. His manager thinks he's a dumbass. To not be like Jeffrey, you need to understand one key principle of productivity. Adonis does not distract himself. He distracts the world. For he understands that there is nothing more important than his focus and his commitment to his craft and his purpose. He will not allow small distractions to interfere. He's built the habit of a monk-like discipline and focus, and that's what makes Adonis excel. Jeffrey is a black pillar. He thinks that the only thing that's important for a man is how he looks. The navel candle tilt, the jawline shape, the fucking geometry of the cheekbone. Jeffrey pays for a face rating from Wheat Waffle. Men like Jeffrey who have given up all hope, who have swallowed the black pill and think that life is pointless unless you're 6'7" and you're really attractive and shut the fuck up, bro. Not only have they given up, they want you to give up too. They'll spread these false messages to you because they don't want to see you climb out of that bucket. Adonis knows that a man has to bring multiple things to the table. Of course, physical attractiveness is one of them. That's why Adonis has built his physique. That's why he takes pride in his appearance. But Adonis is not a simpleton like these black pillars. He understands that women, of course, are attracted to confidence, to personality, humor, emotional intelligence, money and status. There's so many things that a man can bring to the table. Jeffrey keeps up to date with celebrity news.
Did you see what Will Smith and Chris Rock did on the TV show? Did you see the tweet from Chris Hemsworth to Rihanna saying that steroids are good for you?
Jeffrey spends his time thinking about celebrities. So many young men are like Jeffrey, but they make fun of young women who are obsessed with female celebrities. Jess obsesses over Kim Kardashian, and we call her a loser. Meanwhile, all the Jeffreys amongst us obsess over Will Smith. Adonis stays focused on himself, his tribe, and his mission. He keeps all of his thoughts and intentions on his own development. That's what leads him to create a great life for himself. He doesn't need to displace or project his insecurities. He doesn't need to live vicariously through celebrities. He is a self-contained man. Jeffrey doesn't care about anyone or anything but himself. He is the worst kind of person. You see Jeffrey going through the drive-thru of McDonald's. He parks his car, he eats the shitty food, and then worst of all, he grabs the rubbish, and then you see him throw it out of his car. Jeffrey doesn't care. Do you? Adonis has progressed himself so much and accomplished so much that now he has the capacity to help not only his loved ones, not only his community, but the entire world. Adonis makes movements that are far bigger than him. He encourages wider communities to make positive differences in the world, cleaning up rubbish, helping survivors of natural disasters, easing the effects of climate change. This is a man who has truly conquered so much in his life. We can't help but look up to someone like that. Jeffrey's a black pillar. He's so certain that the reason that he doesn't get girls girls is because of the shape of his eyelids. He brings up autistic facts and figures as to why he can't get laid, but he overlooks the one fundamental reason why he doesn't attract any women: because he's gross. Jeffrey stinks. He doesn't brush his tongue. He brushes his teeth for 36 seconds. He hasn't flossed his teeth in like 2 years. Bro, if you haven't flossed your teeth, don't even fucking speak to me. Adonis. Adonis, of course, is the man that women want to be with. Just look at him. I'm not gonna lie, even I want to be with him. What a fine specimen he is. Well-groomed, mannered, respectful, sexy. He has no trouble with the ladies. Jeffrey starts praying to his god.
Please, Anastasia, please give me pussy. I need me some pussy. Please reply to my DMs. Please validate me.
But Jeffrey is just like most guys. He allows one single thing to control his life. All of his thoughts, all of his goals, all of his intentions. Pussy is Jeffrey's god. And that leads him to a sad life of comfort, desire, and degeneracy. Adonis. Adonis has very different goals to the modern man. He focuses not on women and sex. He focuses instead on building his empire, growing his tribe, and helping his brotherhood. He's unlocked his core purpose because he focuses instead on his development instead of pleasure. And because of that, he lives the best, most fulfilled life of all. Jeffrey is a wimp, a weak man. We wouldn't even call him a man, he's a little boy. Jeffrey is like the type of guy who makes fun of you for being on self-improvement. He brings other people down. He's the bottom of the bucket crab. He's the stereotypical loser who spends all day on his couch and his computer chair. He's a leech, and because of that, no one wants to be around him. Adonis. Adonis is the ultimate male that we love and respect. He's powerful, but he's kind-hearted. He's wealthy, but he's generous. He's successful, but humble. He's the man that we all aspire to be. If we become more like Adonis, our lives get better in every way. Jeffrey is a weak modern man. He indulges in all of the bad habits that you already know. Video games, porn, Netflix, junk food, watching BuzzFeed. He knows that these things are bad for him, and yet he continues. He continues to stay like a loser, to stay weak. Why would Jeffrey want to get stronger? Every fundamental need of his is being met, but it isn't the real thing. Adonis. Sorry, my voice just cracked then.
Adonis?
Adonis. Adonis is a strong man, the strongest of men. He leads the tribe just like your ex-girlfriend led you on. Sorry, bro. Through grit and relentless obsession, Adonis became strong. He set himself challenges to conquer, and he did just that. Jeffrey lives a life of comfort, of pleasure, whilst Adonis lives a life of challenge, of purpose. Jeffrey's like a normal guy, and so he indulges in whatever he feels like. He eats the chocolate, he watches porn, he scrolls on social media, he plays video games for just 1 hour a day after a long day of working. But Adonis does not live like an average man. Adonis sets himself challenges and goals, and he wants to fulfill his ultimate life purpose. He wants to help other men in his tribe. He's the leader after all. He challenges himself to hunt down that beast, to climb up that wall. Because of that, he lives a fulfilled life, whilst Jeffrey stays depressed and average. Take your pick. Jeffrey clicks on the Instagram app again. Within seconds, he's already on the explore page, looking for ass. But Adonis lives a more peaceful life. He spends time in nature, looking at grass. Jeffrey's mouth breathing. He's horny. And he hates these women. Adonis feels grateful and happy and positive. He looks around at the beauty of the world. Jeffrey's fapping for the second time today. All he can hear are the negative thoughts in his mind that tell him that he's a loser, but he continues. Day in and day out, Jeffrey continues this bad habit. Day in and day out, Adonis grows. Take your pick. Jeffrey just made another Tinder account. He now has 3 accounts working simultaneously to get him absolutely 0 pussy. But Adonis prefers to meet women naturally. Jeffrey isn't getting any matches, and so he decides to buy Tinder Premium. Adonis chooses to reinvest his money back into his business. Jeffrey's finally got a match, so he sends her a dick pic. For Adonis, honor is key. He will not have his self-image or his reputation tainted. In the end, all of the women in Jeffrey's area have seen how desperate he is, how active he is on Instagram, and that repulses them. Adonis seems scarce. You barely see him, and you especially wouldn't see him on platforms like Tinder. He would not reduce himself to that level. Take your pick. Oh no, the feminist is bringing up false facts again. Jeffrey agrees with her. He's a white knight. Even though he's a man, he acts like he hates other men just because he wants to sleep with the feminist. Adonis doesn't need to say anything. He looks her right into the eye. She looks away. Jeffrey argues with other men.
We need to do something about the wage gap, guys. Women earn 77% of what men do.
Adonis looks disappointed. Like it's not even worth to argue with them.
And furthermore, the patriarchy is
Jeffrey sounds like a spurg. He's bringing up false information that he classifies as facts. No one with common sense believes what Jeffrey's saying. Everyone who looks around can see the men are suffering. Jeffrey and Adonis are both given a smartphone. Jeffrey immediately downloads all the apps. He's ready to consume the content. There might be titties on this app. Whilst Adonis uses the camera app to take a picture of his favorite leaf. With all the apps installed, Jeffrey scrolls, and he scrolls, and he scrolls. Adonis forgot about the smartphone that you gave him. Jeffrey's already addicted. His brain is literally hooked on these apps, and he just can't stop scrolling. Jeffrey doesn't work hard, whilst Adonis picks up the slack. Jeffrey's lazy. He's unambitious. Whilst Adonis is driven, he thinks big. Jeffrey gets a sense of accomplishment from the virtual world like video games, social media, and porn, whilst Adonis conquers in real life. Jeffrey never wants to step away from his computer. He sinks deeper and deeper into his addiction, and his life in the real world gets worse and worse. Because of the mental clarity and focus that Adonis has, he becomes a wealthy man, and now he has the ability to give back to his loved ones and his community. Because of his lack of productivity, Jeffrey stays broke. He doesn't get to have the freedom. He doesn't get to ever support his family. Don't be like Jeffrey. Jeffrey is like most guys. He's lazy and unattractive. But Adonis is disciplined and ambitious. When these two go head to head, who do you think will win? Who do you think will get the respect of other men and the attraction from women? Who do you look up to? When Jeffrey is faced with an obstacle, he crumbles. He's like the weak boys who succumb to comfort, and he mocks any man who works hard. Adonis is the opposite. He understands that the obstacle is the way, that discomfort is the key of growing as a man, and he wants other men to be like this. Jeffrey doesn't even try to think of others. He's so down bad that he has to be selfish. Whereas Adonis is the tribe leader. He thinks only of serving others. He leaves behind a fantastic legacy for those after him. Jeffrey doesn't have the capacity to think of future generations. He sees those advertisements about climate change and starvation, human suffering, but he clicks skip ad to watch another compilation of feminists getting wrecked. Jeffrey makes women feel uncomfortable. He messages them creepy shit, mouth breathing. Adonis, on the other hand, women admire Adonis. He makes them feel safe, but he also makes them feel nervous, and that's a good thing. Jeffrey is like the kind of guy who sends a dick pic to your sister, and then he blows up her phone swearing at her and being mean and horrible. We hate guys like Jeffrey. Jeffrey thinks that he has depression, but he doesn't know that he's just using it as an excuse for his laziness. He says that he has goals, but he doesn't take any action. Month by month, year by year, Jeffrey's the exact same person. If anything, he's worse. But Adonis is the man that we aspire to be like. He doesn't use excuses. He doesn't rationalize his failures. He overcomes them. He learns from them. He focuses on long-term growth. The truth is, Jeffrey would love to be like Adonis, but he just keeps doing the wrong, destructive, bad habits. If Jeffrey doesn't fix these bad habits, he'll never be able to improve. He'll never get the life that he wants, and that's a shame. Jeffrey thinks that the only way to get girls is through genetics. And since he doesn't have perfect genetics, he's already given up. But that's not enough. Jeffrey wants you to give up too, Adonis. Adonis will never ask you to give up. Hell, he'll pick you back up. He'll lift you from the floor like you're a tiny little human, say that you've got this, to believe in yourself, that you can amount to great things. But Jeffrey will be pulling on your leg, telling you that ambition is pointless, that it's over for you, curry cells. Who do you want to be more like? Jeffrey thinks that the only way to make money is to get lucky, or to scam people, or to win the lottery. But Adonis understands that money is just like a score in a video game. You get better at the video game and you get a higher score. Jeffrey is a leech. He wants things from other people, but he'll never give back. Whilst Adonis focuses on giving value first. He helps his clients and his customers. He helps his tribe. And of course, he's rewarded with money. Jeffrey stays broke, unambitious, and lazy. Whilst Adonis becomes wealthy and driven, so focused on growth. He gets to live a life full of freedom. He gets to choose what he wants to do with his day. He's not locked into a 9-to-5 like Jeffrey. In fact, Jeffrey's not even good enough for a 9-to-5. He has to get some shift work at even places worse than McDonald's because of his attitude. Choose which person you want to be like. This is it. This is the one that's gonna work. Jeffrey pulls out his credit card and calls the number that he sees on TV. He's gonna buy the product and it's finally gonna make him lose weight. Yes! Adonis, on the other hand, he goes to the gym a couple times a week and he eats clean. And then he does that for 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 years. There's hot singles in my area who wanna fuck? Jeffrey gets excited. It's about time. He clicks on the advertisement to the right-hand side of Pornhub. He's ready to invest money into this. Adonis builds himself himself up to be a good man. He attracts women naturally. It's so expensive, but I think this is the one that's gonna work. His eyes gloss over the $1,997 course that's gonna teach him how to get rich. In just 6 easy steps, Jeffrey will be able to achieve the life that he's always wanted. Adonis understands that it takes hard work, dedication, ambition, the right mindset, the right people. He doesn't expect to get rich quickly. He makes a fantastic business that provides value for the long term. And of course, he gets wealthy because of that. Jeffrey is so selfish. His parents raised him. They worked hard to provide for him. They were hoping that once he becomes a man, he'd be able to contribute and help the family back. But he has other plans. But what about Adonis? Adonis has nothing but love, respect, and gratitude for his family. He's taken the responsibility to contribute to his family unit. Because of that, his parents, and his siblings are so full of love for each other. They get to live in a household that feels like it has its needs met. Adonis works hard so that he can provide. But Jeffrey is a leech. He started making some money, but he still distanced himself away from his family. He's the stereotypical 20-year-old loser who still lives in his family's house, and he's just wasting away on instant gratification. The zombie on the computer chair. Most young men are like Jeffrey, and they are nothing but disappointments to their family. You should strive to be like Adonis. Jeffrey isn't planning to leave a legacy behind, and so he indulges in comfort and the addictions of the modern man, whereas Adonis plans to leave a legacy behind. Adonis is a leader, and he wants to inspire other leaders to carry on his message. Whilst Jeffrey overindulges, Adonis focuses on his purpose. That is the difference between a loser and a winner. Jeffrey gets lucky. He's finally amassed wealth. The degenerate altcoin that he invested in 15 times. Jeffrey's rich. And Adonis is also wealthy, but he built his wealth through giving value to others. Through hard work, grit, and determination. Unforeseen circumstances affects both men, and they lose everything that they've built. Jeffrey goes into the depths of despair, back to watching countless hours of YouTube, trying to get lucky gambling. He's pissed off. He lost everything. He's just unlucky. And he gets worse and worse and worse. Adonis, on the other hand, takes out his journal. He takes time to stare at his wall, and he allows his brain to think. He wonders what he can learn from this lesson. He understands that there is success behind every failure. Adonis learns. He gets better and better and better. Within some time, Adonis has built the wealth again and again and again, whereas Jeffrey is still trying to get lucky. Jeffrey makes women feel uncomfortable. He stares and he stares and he stares. Jeffrey's the kind of guy who doesn't stop staring after you look at him. He just makes you feel weird, like, turn around, bro, what the f? Now imagine that same thing, but he's doing it to your sister, to your mother. He has no respect because Jeffrey has been raised in an over-sexualized society that actually promotes looking at women like sex objects. Jeffrey, although he is a spurg and a weirdo, he is somewhat of a victim. He's been conditioned by the modern world around him. Most of the times that a young man like Jeffrey sees women, especially on the internet, they're not clothed. They're in sexual positions. He sees music videos of female rappers who are literally spreading their legs open and having confidence about it, and they're getting dry humped by their male dancers. He sees social media posts by feminists who are taking clothes off and then telling men not to view them as sex objects. You know what? I don't think we can really blame Jeffrey in this situation. Adonis is the man that we aspire to be, and so he has a totally different view of women than the majority of young men. Whilst all the red pillars and degenerate pickup artists say to not respect women and, to treat them like shit and like... Fucking cringe, bro. Adonis goes about it a different way. He simply treats the women that he interacts with just like he would treat his daughter. That's with respect and love and generosity. It of course doesn't mean that Adonis is a nice guy, of course he's not. But it simply means that he's not a Jeffrey needs to be overstimulated. Just one video on Pornhub isn't enough. He needs to open 5 tabs and he flicks between them with the audio on of all of them at the same time. Adonis looks at him with disappointment. Is this what modern men are like? Jeffrey doesn't care. He's about to nut at the moment of climax, not even after Jeffrey's negative thoughts kick in. He feels shame, guilt, defeat, feels like a loser. He's already regretting the decision. But within just a few seconds of busting a nut, Jeffrey opens Valorant on his gaming PC because he needs more and more stimulation. We as young men are tired of being like Jeffrey. We strive to be like Adonis because whilst Jeffrey is destroying his brain, Adonis steps out into nature. He experiences joy, bliss, presence, and gratitude. He understands how important downtime is. He understands how detrimental technology and overstimulation are. We need to become more like Adonis.